Hi, hello and welcome to this year's 2018-19 presidential election video.
We're here again!
So one of the things that we managed to do this year is to take the sweatpants that were in the CDE for a few years now and sell them. Of the ones that we didn't sell, we gave them away to charity. So in addition to that, we organized a 60th anniversary big blowout party alongside the parents and the administration.
Okay, so we hauled a stand who was the hoodie stand, and we sold 850 hoodies, which gave us a total profit of 6,000 euros.
We also organized 9 stands and bouncy castles, which were a huge success and very well enjoyed by, I think, a lot of people.
So overall this year we got a profit of 8,500 euros. Some of that money went to charity, for instance.
Finally, we as a CDE came in to greet the new kids on the day before the first day back to school as a little bit of an introduction to how our school works, and I think it was very well received.
So if you want to be part of all these projects,
or if you have any exciting ideas to contribute, join the CDE!
Okay, now let's see what the candidates have to say.
Laszlo from the Hungarian section running for president, and Bianca from the German section running for vice president. So, why did you want to become president?
Well, simply put, we were deeply saddened by the state of the pupils committees not providing serious change, not representing students correctly. So this is in what lies our motivation. We together as students, we want to transform the pupils committee into an organization that truly represents you, and one that has courage to actually make change. And through this new pupils committee, we will make our schools, our European schools, better reflect European values such as transparency, democracy and freedom.
So now, what are new ideas that you'd like to implement in the school?
Well, we have lots of new things we want to implement. Lots of new events, projects, including plans for better communication, new events and more liberty for students. So first, some simple ideas. We want to stop having classes during the B tests because we think that's an absolutely impractical rule.
Also, we want to create a sort of support class to prepare children emotionally better for their paths after school, and also have less censorship for the yearbooks, as this was an issue before with the years.
We want to cover also the football fields with some type of fake grass, astroturf covering, for a better experience, prevent injuries and, health problems. Also want to put up nets between the football fields, so to prevent the ball from going out, so make the, sports place a bit of a better experience.
Okay, so now we've heard what you want to implement in the school. What do you want to improve in the schools?
Yeah, so basically we just want to fix broken materials in general and have better hygiene in toilets, and also open up the toilets in Aristotle for convenience for the students. Right.
We also want to improve the cafeteria a lot. So for example, both the S1 through 3 and the S4, 5, 6 and 7 cafeteria, we want to finish the credit card, debit card payments, finish the vending machines, and just spice up the food variety a bit, because you can't eat the same for years. And finally, we're of course always open to redecorating the cafeterias with your ideas.
So what are your plans for better communication in the school?
Well, we actually want to create the EEB1 application, now an easy-to-use application of the school. Now we actually have the technology to do it. I actually won ESSS second place with an application that I made. In this application you'll see your schedule, absences list and much more.
We also want to implement a school radio, which would be organized by students and would be playing during school hours, playing the music of students and what they want to hear.
We want to make the pupils committee transparent, more transparent, because we think that the pupils committee isn't being held accountable for their actions. So for example, we want to have open meetings, want to publish projects and their statuses, and of course all of our financial data, exactly on what we spend our money on.
And we also want to improve the BISSSC newspaper and just create more awareness of it because of the freedom of speech for the students there, and it's a free platform for everybody there.
Okay, so if president, what kind of events would you like to organize?
Well, first of all, let me be clear. We will organize all of these events and all of these projects if we become presidents and even if we do not. So firstly, we would like to make the Science Festival better. We think there's lots to improve, lots of services to be added, just generally a better experience is needed. For example, you could even remove the requirement of having classes during the Science Festival. We don't think that's necessary.
And we also want to organize the humanities festivals to celebrate the artistic people more, so that would be a day of music, art and literature. And of course we also want to continue the S123 disco with the ideas of the students and how they want it to be.
And in addition to covering the football fields and the football nets, we also want to promote sports. So we want to actually make inter-school sports tournaments. So you could invite over EEB2, EEB3, EEB4 for competitive and friendly matches in the school.
What are your plans for increasing the awareness of students' rights?
Oh yes, exactly. We actually want to get more democracy, transparency and liberty for students.
Yeah, so for students to feel better here, we want to reform the ETUD to have better books and better equipment there, and also have less restrictions on Wi-Fi, so for net neutrality and just for better experience.
So you want more liberty for the students?
Look, I mean, we want the European schools to actually reflect European values. So, for example, we have the Know Your Policy program, which basically tells students about their rights, rules and procedures inside the European schools. And in addition to this, we want to clarify, for example, the drugs policy and policies concerning wrongdoings in the school, so that the administration doesn't get absolute power to decide who gets what punishment. For example, EEB2 already has a clear drugs policy, which doesn't create a division between the students and the administration. Rather, it's a corrective measure, to get help and to restrict their absolute control over punishments. We also want to get actual democracy for students, because, I mean, what is a model of Europe without democracy? So we want to get a vote, actually get listened to at meetings like the Educational Council and at the Board of Governors, because right now we're not listened to at all.
And we also want to create advice groups for judiciary and bureaucratic issues between students, so how these might be addressed and dealt with.
To actually get a vote on these issues is extremely important, and the way we will do this, you will obviously all see this through our Pupils Committee Transparency Project, but we will actually, unlike other Pupils Committees before us, we will actually apply pressure on the European Schools Administration to get this done.
Okay, so finally, why do you think you would be a good president?
Okay, so I've been in this school for a really long time, and I've seen many presidents here and many student councils, and how some of them had empty promises and weren't fulfilling what they were saying, and that's really our aim and goal, what we want to do, and we know that we can achieve this with our motivation.
Exactly. I mean, look, we possess the motivation and experience required. I mean, I've been in this school my whole life. I know the system in and out, and I've been on both sides of the system, so I know how to deal with it. I know how to solve these issues. And we have absolute motivation, absolute dedication, and this will be shown through the fact that we will transform, we together students will transform the Pupils Committee into an organization that truly represents you, your wants and needs, and that one that will not be a puppet organization. Finally, you see, one that actually has the courage to act on these issues and make a difference for real. That is all we have to say. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi guys, how are you doing?
We're super great.
We're great, thanks.
Okay, maybe you would like to introduce yourself?
My name is Vasco. I'm in the English section, and I'm running to be this year's CDE president.
And hey, my name is Natascha. I'm in the Danish section, and I'm running as vice president next to Vasco.
What are the events that you would like to organize as president?
Well, there are a couple of events I'd like to keep from last year, notably the S123 discos and also the color run. We thought that was a great idea, and we'd like to make it this year even bigger with more color powders and to have a color party at the end of the year.
Yeah, and we'd also like to have more sports events and competitions with sports like football and basketball and volleyball that we know that students are really interested in.
And finally, we'd love to have a big art competition for the whole secondary, and this would include any type of art such as sculpture, painting, photography, and we'd like to have a big exhibition at the end of the year, and yeah.
So, what are your plans to improve the communication in the school?
We actually believe that communication is a major issue in this school, notably Office 365, which is quite problematic. Therefore, we'd like to change that by starting an official EEB1 Instagram. We already know that there's a CDE Instagram, but this new official Instagram would be, its sole purpose would be to inform students about upcoming events and possibilities, and to find out what the student body wants. Instagram has quite a few tools that are quite fun and creative, such as polls and questionnaires, and we feel like we could use these to find out more about what students want and expect from the school.
So what are the new ideas that you would like to implement in the school?
There are actually quite a few new ideas we'd like to implement in the school. Notably, we'd love to have a school yearbook. We know that the S7s have a school yearbook already, but we'd like to have it for the rest of the secondary. And the cool thing about the school yearbook is that not only do you have a book with photos of all of your friends and yourself, but also you get to sign it at the end of the year, and all of your friends get to sign it. So it's just a great memory to have. Another new idea that we'd have would be reintroduce the pink card to the school. And we know that quite a few European schools already use it, and we know that this school used to use it. So we don't see why the current S5s and this year's S4s, who will be in S5 next year, would not be allowed to use it and leave for lunch. Finally, a new idea would be a lounge area in the library, in the S4 to 7 library. And what this would mean would be we'd have a space with couches and with bean bags just to hang out, listen to music, and read books, because we feel like this school is lacking a bit in areas for people who don't have class in their free periods to hang out in.
What would you like to improve in the school?
There are quite a few things we'd like to improve. First off, we'd really like to improve the school gym t-shirts because the fabric it's made out of isn't appropriate for sports. So we'd like to remake them, but in a sport fabric.
Yeah, and we'd also really like to improve the recycling system at school, because we're a huge school and we're wasting a lot of paper, a lot of plastic, and so on. So we'd like to improve that. Yeah.
We'd also like to improve the lost and found, because it's only once a week and its timetable doesn't necessarily correlate with other people's free time, and therefore a lot of things that go missing people don't find, even if it is in the lost and found. So we'd like to not only make it more often and more times per week, but also just improve the system as a whole. And finally, we'd like to redecorate the 2 CAFs.
So why do you think you would be a good president?
Well, I think we'd be a great president because we're often told that we're approachable, and we think that that's a really important part of being president, because we'd like to create an environment where students feel comfortable coming up to us or coming up to other members of the CDE and just say, hey Vasco, hey Natascha, there's a problem with this, or we'd like to change this, or I have a suggestion. And we feel like we'd be really good at that, and we'd love to be able to take other people's opinions and to connect the students to the administration.
I've been in the school for 12 years now, and I know a lot about the system and so on, so we're a great match.
Yeah, so we think we'd be a great mix, and we'd bring the new ideas from my other schools and also the rules to implement it in this school. And also, we speak a number of different languages. Je parle aussi français et también hablo español. So yeah, so we really would love to be your president.